Okay, so this is the slide view. I'm sharing link now only. Okay. So this is the basic components. We'll go through this. So what we are going to learn basic things in a PC hardware about a PC hardware components like a CPU, RAM, ROM, BIOS, motherboard, hard disk, CD, DVD, SMPS, and floppy disk. And no floppy disk. Okay. Just what are the other devices? What is meant by cabinet? What is CPU? How it is look like? What are the CPU parameters? We'll see. What is difference between RAM and ROM, and what is RAM? Type of RAMs. Okay. What is meaning of ROM? What is BIOS? Okay. What is BIOS settings? BIOS batteries. How to go to BIOS settings? Motherboard and your SMPS. Next part is your hard disk. Okay, what is meant by hard disk and SSDs? Okay, SSDs. And next, what is the hard disk partitions and file systems? MBR, GPT, and boot processor. So these are the things we are going to learn in a PC hardware. Okay, I'll tell very simple way. Okay, so it means it's like a brief way I will tell. Tomorrow we'll see about operating systems. Okay, we'll try to complete these things today. Otherwise, today and tomorrow. So it's already 11:20. So you'll see, guys. CPU, RAM, ROM, motherboard, hard disk, CD, DVD, SMPS. Like any basic computer or a laptop, these are the common things. Floppy disk is nowadays it is not available because floppy disk stores only 1.44 MB data. 1.44 MB data in once upon a time it is huge data, like entire book, entire guy things we can able to put it, not entire data, but so one document, multiple documents like 1.44 review worth of data you can able to put it. Okay, but nowadays it's we have a pen drives, memory cards, you can store in Google Drive. Okay, much more spaces are available now. Okay, to transfer the data also it is become more easy with your pen drives. A floppy disk are very small size, like even you take a picture with your mobile phone, the picture itself it is around a 5 MB. In a olden days it's a picture means it is in a KBs. Okay, you want to store one music file that is around a 5 to 10 MB. Now we have a lot of codecs, then it is bigger the size. These are the components inside this cabinet. So guys, this is called a cabinet, not CPU. Even people who are, even myself, sometimes I will call this one as a CPU. It's not a CPU or a desktop, it is a cabinet. The empty one is, we call it as a cabinet. Inside this cabinet, we have a motherboard, SMPS, hard disk, okay, CD-ROM, which is inside only. They're all connected to your motherboard. On motherboard, we have a CPU, RAM, and BIOS chipset is there. Okay. So outside of this cabinet, so keyboard for input device, keyboard, mouse, pointing device, monitor, display device, printer, scanners. I have a document like this. This is a document in my PC. Is called a soft copy. If you take a printout, so it is a hard copy. So what is printer will do? You have a soft copy, it converts into hard copy. You can take a print on the paper. Scanner, you have a hard copy scanner is there, like your certificate is there. So your handout certificate is there. You scan it and store in your PC. What it is? Hard copy to soft copy. Yeah, laptops having touch pads for pointing purpose, touch screens for giving input through directed display. Using the display can on display, it is a touch screen displays are there. Mic speakers to for audio purpose, for a mic for you speak, mic will take your audio signal and convert into digital format and give it to your processor. The speaker which converts a digital format to audio signal means we can able to hear from speakers. Card readers, SD cards are there, memory cards. So you can connect your card reader or maybe built-in card readers also there for a certain computers. Bluetooth devices. So we can connect nowadays, of course, Bluetooth headphones we are using, Bluetooth TVs. So we can transfer the data. We can for a display purpose, audio purpose, video purpose. We are using Bluetooth devices. Or transferring data also Bluetooth is useful. External hard disk. Guys, a lot of people say like, sir, we don't have a space in our computer. What to do? What are the things I have to delete? Of course, guys, you have downloaded certain things like a video files, audio, music files, or games, applications. So you downloaded it, but it is occupying your space. It may not be useful in future. Okay, sometimes it is useful. What to do? Buy external hard disk, store in the external hard disk. Or you want to transfer huge data, like a 10 GB data you want to transfer from one system to another system. External hard disks are very useful. So starting with the CPU, are you okay up to now, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Normally, for this purpose, I don't write on the this paper. Okay, so I will give the link directly. So when you are reading, only title and the link. So you can open the link and read it. You know already this link. You have already this link. Okay. Guys, this is a traditional block diagram. This is the input from keyboard. Okay, input device or give an input to your CPU. CPU process it. CPU contain arithmetic and logical unit. It process your input and store. If required, it stores in memory. If required, it will retrieve from the memory. Okay, for processing purpose, and it will show your output on a output devices. Sometimes it will store in your secondary storage devices also. Okay, this is a traditional block diagram, just a textbook block diagram only. Okay, what is CPU? Central processing unit. This is not CPU, guys. This is a cabinet. This is CPU. CPUs look like this small chip. Okay, central processing unit, which is your processor. It performs arithmetic and logical functions because inside ALU, arithmetic logical unit is there. It do arithmetic logical functions. And directly we can insert into motherboard. So this is the motherboard part. Okay, so you can see that one. So otherwise I will show you CPU, motherboard. Okay, so these are the motherboards. So this is a motherboard having a 2 CPUs. You can put it in this motherboard. Okay, so this is the place where you put a processor. See, this is the place. So you have to open it and put your CPU like this. Not like this exactly. So you have to remove this outer lid and insert it and close it like this. You have to. This is the contents pins. And you have to place your processor and close it. Okay, like this. Okay, it is directly on your motherboard only. Okay, that is a small chip. Every processor having certain properties, certain specifications, which you have to check it. First one is speed. Okay, so normally when you check about your processor, we'll check it, what model it is, Intel processor, AMD processor, right? If you take mobile phone, Snapdragon, okay, Snapdragon, MediaTek, or a Exynos kind of stuff, okay, Motorola processors are there. So different purposes with different type of processor we are using. So for normally for computers and laptops, we use Intel or AMD general. Okay, this is i5 processor 3230M. It's a 2.6 gigahertz processor. Two number of cores, four logical processors, and of course it is 64-bit processor. It is contains virtualization is enabled, and also L3 cache is 3 MB L3 cache. Okay, so remaining things we are not getting, but how to get a processor, or you want to buy a processor? So right, you want to buy a processor. So like this, you can see these are different motherboards, processors are there. But you want to buy a processor, and what are the how to know about your processor? For example, my processor i5, some processor is showing 11th generation H model. Okay, so this is the i5 12400F model. F means, guys, remember any processor contains F means internal graphics are not there, built-in graphics are not there. It is you need to buy a dedicated graphics card, means additionally graphic card is compulsory. Okay, in a F models. So same, I copy this model and search in Google. Okay, then you can see intel.in. So I'm going to intel.in, this model just for example. How much cache memory? 18 MB. It is up to 4.4 gigahertz speed it will give. So it's a purpose is desktop, not laptop. It is desktop purpose. So processor number. So number of cores 6, performance cores are 6. Number of threads are 12. So 6 cores, 12 logical processors. Base is 2.5 gigahertz processor and 18 MB cache memory. So base power utilization is 65 watts. Okay. See, it is support a maximum 128 GB RAM. Your RAM maximum 128 GB RAM you can utilize. I said there is a FSB, front side bus. What is the front side bus? Which is RAM supporting speed. So you can see either you can use 3200 or 4800 megahertz per second. T by S means hedge. I don't know. No. Okay, what is the meaning of cores? Very good. Earlier days, guys, we have a single processors. Okay, earlier we have a single processor, means one processor, one core type. So here is a cache memory, okay, which is internally only, but I have written in externally. So you do process means you load task, process one by one based on the priority. It go to your system one by one. It executes. So we got an output. Okay. So later for server purpose mainly, they started using for a more processing power, multiple processors they use. I showed one motherboard now. So it contains two processors, like a two processor, four processor motherboards are there. Okay, that is for server purpose, no problem. But day to day requirement is increases. You have to increase your processor size. That is difficult again because size matters. Size should not be increases, but processor density must be increases. Then what they done? They took a two processors. They took a two processors. They kept like this, and with a single cache sharing cache memory. So what happened? The task is loaded, then it will be shared by these two processors. Okay, like this task is loading to cache, cache to two processors running at a time. So processor will do very fastly. Single task run very fastly. Okay, like this. Point is faster execution you can achieve by combining two processors like this. This is called a dual core. This is called a dual core. So later it is not enough because it's a density matters also there. So people started in this thing core concept. So what divide one single processor into, because already processor is very powerful. So you don't require to make a one processor as a very big one. Utilize your processor better way. So like this, they put a core 0, core 1. One processor divided into two parts with a separate caches. So what happened? One task is loaded to one core, another process is running by another core. Two cores are running parallelly by handling two process at a time. So this is called a core to geo. Core to geo model. So now we are calling this two cores, right? So it is a two cores are there. Same way four cores. Mobile phone octa cores are there na? Same way. Four core means one processor. They divide into four parts. This is called a quad core processor or four core processor. This is number of cores. What is logical processors? Logical processors, they divide this thing means it's a kind of one core again contains two processors like this. So what happened? Double density means it is a concept of dual core and core processing. So logical processors are created means two core, four logical processors or threads. You can say logical or threads. Okay, logical processor or threads. Now it is two core processor, four logical threads. Okay, so this is simply like a four core, four threads or a four logical processor. In case I done like this means, so it is experience like a 8 core processor. It experience like 8 core processor, but it is actually 8 thread processor. 4 core, 8 thread processor. The core technology we have that one. Okay, good. So you can see what is the total threads. Hardware term describe number of independent central processing unit in a single computer component. Only computing component. One processor experience like a 6 processors. Okay. 12 means.
Okay, sir, got it.
Got it right? Very good. So this is a front side bus means this will tell front side bus will tell what type of RAM you have to use it. You have to use DDR4 this type of RAM only or DDR5 this type of RAM only. Okay, you cannot use DDR3 or other frequencies because frequency mismatches. Only number of processors are only two RAMs. So motherboard contains RAM slot. If you see a CTS, it contains multiple RAM slots. Some are having only two RAM slots, some are having a 4 RAM slots. This is 2 RAM slots are there. Some are having a 4 RAM slots. It is 2 RAM slots are there. Okay, so you can put a 2 RAMs maximum, and this processor also support maximum 2 RAM slots only. Okay, other information also available. So this is the socket size. Okay, so you can see processor socket. So this is the processor and this is the socket. So processor and socket must be matches. Based on that only you can take a motherboard. So I'm taking this, check it. So this is the socket model. Okay, this one. So you can go to Amazon like this. So this is Asus motherboard. Okay, this socket is 1700 socket, support 12th generation Intel processor, and there is a 4 M.2 slots and PCI 5.0. DDR5 support is there, HDMI support is there. Okay, so that must be matches. Okay, processor and motherboard support. So what is your motherboard support? And also other built-in features. It is a 64-bit processor. It is a 64-bit processor, 64-bit instruction set. This is the additional instruction sets are there inside. Also, Intel virtualization technology is yes. It means you can run multiple virtual machines in a single machine. Allow one hardware platform to function as a multiple virtual platforms. It offers improved manageability by limiting downtime maintenance. That is very okay. So it is one hardware platform means one computer, but multiple virtual machines you can run if you have this feature. That to 64-bit virtual machines you can run. Okay. So I got a complete CPU details from Intel like this. Okay. So these are the things, guys. Speed, check the speed, width 32-bit or 64-bit. FSB is a RAM supporter. Okay, what is RAM? Based on the FSB. Okay, and also I told about cache memory. So what is the cache memory? This one 18 MB cache memory. 18 MB cache memory. So cache memory improves speed of processing. Number of cores per processors. Number of cores per processors. Number of logical processors and virtualization technology. Nowadays, you are buying a laptop or a desktop, compulsory check the virtualization technology. Guys, it is always suggestible. That is, if you want to buy a laptop, minimum i3. So minimum is i3. Recommended is i5. Okay. Minimum is i3. Recommended is i5. Basic RAM is 8 GB. 8 GB recommended. Okay. Minimum 4 is there. 4 is not at all recommended. Not even a minimum nowadays. 4 is okay. Just okay. At least 4 is okay. That is a very minimum. 8 GB is always best. Or you can take 16 GB RAM. Compulsory at least dual storage. Check with the dual storage part. Okay, so generally we are getting SSDs. So make sure at least SSD plus hard disk or SSD. Second one is also either a SSD or hard disk, or first one is anyway SSD. You're buying any laptop. Okay. So built-in graphics or additional graphics, that is your choice. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, sir, when we are looking for dual storage, then both of them should be SSD or one of them should be SSD and the other is HDD.
Yeah, actually nowadays these laptops are not available for a SSD plus HDD type. HDDs they are not giving slot. So both are SSDs they are giving.
Okay, if dual storage is there, then it will be necessarily SSD.
If you originally, if you they given a choice, if companies given a choice, SSD plus HDD, it is a better choice because HDD you can store normal data, heavy data, large data. Why? Because of SSD is cheaper than SSD. This is cheaper.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the best combination, but now it is not available. If you have a desktop, one SSD for your operating system and your applications, and take another
But
hard disk for a
does
regular
SSD
test.
SSD do not perform the functions of HDD? Is that so?
No, no, don't go to functions and all. SSD is a fast
That's
moving, fast loading. But cost
that's
of
the only difference.
SSD cost is higher than this one.
I mean, the only difference is fastness,
Yeah, fast and cost.
cost. Okay.
Cost. Okay. So you take a 1 terabyte of hard disk, 1 TB hard disk. Cost is around 3,000 to 4,000, maximum 4,000, 3,500 you will get it. 3,500 you will get it. 1 terabyte
So
of
what
hard
you
disk.
are saying is, for our operating system,
Hmm.
we can have SSD, like we can have around 128 GB or something for our operating system, and rest of that we can have HDD because of the cost.
Yeah. So you have
Okay.
a 240 GB for operating system, means primary device. For operating
Okay.
system and application, 240 happy can work because Windows updates always. Not enough space. And you install applications, it occupy a lot of space. And hard
Okay.
disk, like you can put a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte. Okay, so then
Okay.
this is the best option
Okay.
because 1 terabyte of SSD cost is around 9,000. Okay, around near to the 10,000 rupees. Okay, that to two type of interfaces.
Okay. Got
Okay,
it.
so that's the point. Good. Okay,
Sir,
yeah, tell me.
sir, what are the usually specifications of laptop and for service desk profile?
Specifications.
Yes.
Laptop and desktop. Okay. Generally, any laptop or desktop, compulsory you need a CPU, RAM, storage. These
No,
three we
sir.
have to consider.
Sir,
Yeah,
specifications for service desk profile. Any particular laptop and normally using.
actually, company will provide to you. Okay, I'm talking in a learning purpose. Like in future, you are learning Windows Server, Linux servers. Okay, or maybe any DevOps kind of stuff. Like so, standard laptop. This is the
Okay.
recommended. This is recommended. Okay, not for this particular profile. Okay, this is cloud-based profile. You don't need to install anything in your PC. Already there are VPN connectivities there, and as well as browser-based connectivity. Okay, so this is recommended. This is minimum. Like you are using for general purpose, i3 is enough. Okay, minimum. So i5 is recommended. Like in future you want to learn 16 GB is good RAM. You
Okay.
want to go to i7 it cost is higher, cost increases. i9 is a too much, it is not at all required. i9 is there, not at all required, that much cost waste. i5 is or i7, if you can able to offer more bucks, that's i7. Okay guys, I said about a 32-bit and 64-bit processor. It's just a bit means it's a size of instruction in a processor. Bit means size of instruction. Okay, so it is like you write a is a letter, you want to convert into binary and you can put it in a place, either it is a 32-bit place or a 64-bit place. Means you put a in a 32-bit, a in 64-bit. Okay, 64 is bigger, means the bigger size instructions we can give. Okay, so if you are using 64, the instruction set and data is 64-bit. Means you can run complex instructions, bigger size data also we can able to run. But because of its size is higher, we need more RAM capacity and disk capacity. Example, you are using a 32-bit machine. Your processor is 32-bit and you are installing 32-bit Windows 10 operating system, for example. Minimum is 1 GB RAM is required and minimum disk space requirement is 16 GB. Whereas you are having a 64-bit processor, minimum RAM to install Windows 10 is 2 GB RAM. Okay, minimum disk space requirement is 20 GB. Okay, so that is the thing. So one is instruction sets in 32-bit system, 32-bit, 64 system, 64-bit. You have a system, 64-bit system is there. Your processor is 64, device driver 64, and operating system must be 64. Applications can be 32-bit or 64-bit, depends upon your operating system. So your processor is 64, your device drivers, operating system, application, everything is 64. Your processor is 32-bit, device drivers, operating system, applications are 32-bit only. It is better way to that point. Of course, there is some twist is there, so we'll leave it. Compared to 32-bit, 64-bit, the instruction sets is a 64-bit in a 64-bit processor. So then we can run more complex instructions. Big data processing is there. Of course, hardware requirements also increases, like your RAM and disk space. Multi-core processors. Okay, possible. Now 2-core, 4-core processors are there now. That is also possible with 64-bit. Virtualization technology is provided. It means multiple virtual machines we can run in a single machine. Host OS means I have my PC that is a Windows 10. My laptop is Windows 10. That is my host OS. That's my physical machine. If I run a virtual machine with Linux, the Linux is my guest operating system. Okay. For example, I am running a Windows Server 2019 in my virtual machine. So that is guest operating system. Okay. And also 64-bit process and motherboard supporting this UEFI. That is a new version of BIOS. Digital signature enforcement is also there. Okay. You have seen any application or operating system, how to understand it is a 64-bit or not. Sometimes they will write 64-bit x86 underscore 64-bit x64 AMD 64. x86 64 means Intel 64. This represent Intel 64. Okay, this is AMD 64. x86 represent Intel. So this is 32-bit. Any application, it is a 32-bit. Either they write 32-bit application in bracket 32-bit or x86, i386, i586, x86 underscore 32, like that. This is a different representation of processors. Different processors came from the Intel. That is, I have written different processors came from the Intel. Okay. So first starting with the 4-bit, 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. These are 16-bit processor. Okay, 32-bit processor. Now it is 64-bit process we are using. You know, some people will tell us stories. No, we purchase a computer with a 90,000 rupees that time, 70,000 rupees. I'll give it to you freely. Second hand or third hand, something like that. They will tell. So my people are not using now. Problem is those computers, those days like 20 years, 30 years back computers, now it is useless. Even if still it is working. You are a more little enthusiastic people, then you can use world operating system in it. Okay. So this is a about your processor. One point I will tell guys. So your CPU, motherboard and heat sink. Okay. So every processor having a heat sink. Okay. So these are the heat sinks guys. What happened? Processor will get a heated. While using, processor will get a heated. If it is getting more heat, processor will damage. So what if they will do it? They put this heat sink on the processor like this. On bottom it is a processor is there. They put a heat sink. This heat sink will absorb the heat. Heat sink absorb the heat. So this fan will blow the air to this heat sink so that heat sink will get cool. Okay. So like this. Okay. So this is the heat sink. Bottom of the heat sink. So there is a part. So actually here it is. See this part will touches the processor. So first is processor, on processor heatsink, on heatsink there is a fan. Okay, there is a fan like this. So it will make temperature constant on the processor. One more is there that is called a heatsink paste. This is also called as a thermal paste. This is the paste. You have to apply this heatsink paste on the processor. On it, you have to put a heatsink and fan. Okay, on fan. So what is the use of this heatsink paste? It absorbs the heat. It will absorb the heat and give it to your heat sink. So it will make more proper contact between processor and heat sink. So this is the processor. This is the heat sink. It will give more contact. So heat will be absorbed by your heat sink will increases. Okay. So this is about your total processor assembly, and of course processor having separate power supply, that is also there. Okay. So what I have written here is about your system started. System is started. Okay. System is started and restarted. System started and you want to do something, system is restarted without showing any errors. No errors, no blue screen, nothing is there. It restarted, again restarted, again restarted. Okay, so why it is restarting? One of the reason, there may be another reasons, but one of the reason is this heatsink paste not properly applied. Our heatsink is not sitting properly. Heatsink is not sat properly. Our heatsink fan is not working. Okay, heatsink paste is not there or cleaned, or maybe heatsink is not sitting properly. The heatsink fan is not set, not running, or dust, dust in the heatsink. No, dust. See, it is lot of dust on it. Yesterday only I opened my computer, then the lot of dust inside. Okay, heat sink fans, the dust formation. So because of this dust, heat cannot be escape from your processor. So processor will get overheated. Processor will get overheated. Because of this overheating, processor may damage. Processor may damage. To protect processor from damaging because of that overheating, system restart your PC. System restarts its PC because of CPU is getting overheated. Okay, if it is not restarted, CPU will be damaged. So the reasons, heatsink paste is not there, or maybe heatsink is not sitting properly, or heatsink fan. Okay, and dust, because of this dust. So you have to clean it properly. Open your heatsink, check your heatsink paste is there or not. If it is not there, buy a heatsink paste and apply the heatsink paste. Guys, I am talking in a computer, means normal desktop, but also same for laptop. If you go to laptop, okay, so this is a laptop heatsink. It is not heatsink, it is a fan only, which is blow air outside of your processor, outside of your things. If it is form a dust, the dust also block that airflow. Okay, next one is heatsink. Now, laptop heatsinks are look like this one. Have you seen these copper plates? Okay, like this. So this part touches the your processor. This part is on the processor. The heat will be absorbed by here and heat transferred to this copper rod and transferred to here. This fan will blow heat outside. That's why, guys, do not put your laptop on the lap. Laptop is meant for laptop. Laptop is meant for lap only, but don't put on your lap, because lap closes the air vents of your laptop. Laptop contains air vents, holes. The vents will be closed. System will get heated. Next one is, if you put it on a bed, some people put it on a bed and okay, you put it in a bed. What happened? The cloth is there, no? The cloth will block the things. So put it on any nice table. No cloths, no paper. Some people put it on a paper. So like a dust is there, so they will put a paper. Don't put a paper also, guys. Don't put a paper also. So give the space. It means surrounding at least for at least more than 1-2 inches. So do not close this vents outside of your processor, outside of your laptop also. Don't try to close. Some people put a pens at this side, so it will get a more heated. Cooling pads are okay to use, but not always very important. Okay, so if you want to use a cooling pad, this is the better way. Okay, means not this much big stand also, very small gap stand is also enough. Okay, small gap stand is also enough. So like this, frame is also not recommended. This is also not completely recommended. Depends upon your laptop. Okay. Yeah, I got some answer now. So. Fan is not working. Fan is not working means your fan is damaged, or there is a cable, power cable is there. The cable got a loose connectivity. The fan is not working means you have to take it to the service center. So tell them how to check the fan connectivity. Whether it is a fan motor problem or it can be a cable connector problem, connecting problem for laptop. Laptop is more sensitive, so for desktop no problem, you can remove and insert new fan or a new assembly. No problem. But laptop is sensitive. If you try, maybe it will damage. If it is very old laptop, no problem. Yeah, I got your question now. 1 second. I think, guys, so far you don't have any practicals. That's why I didn't suggest any laptop for service desk profile. Okay, you don't have any practical, so I kept that in mind. But once you join in the organization, they will give you resources. So then they will provide a laptop and all, you can do it. But important is for your version test. So to this interview purpose and exam purpose, you have to write one test first, right? What is it? Version test. Once it is completed, then it is a technical and HR round will be there, right? So both are needed. For both the things, we need a laptop. So compulsory, there must be a cam in the laptop and headphone is required. So usually we tell laptop, even a desktop with cam and headphones. So good part and as well as a internet. So that day compulsory, if you are using mobile phone hotspot, add some additional 10 GB data in it for this purpose. Okay, good camera, clear mic and speaker, and very good internet speed is required. In a basic laptop is also okay. If your processor is i5, i3, good, no problem. Okay, even it is a i3, no problem, it will run. Okay, basic laptop is also okay. Make sure that laptop should not be stuck somewhere. Okay, that is enough. It does not mean you still run laptops and all. If it is now regular daily life, it is performing better. Of course, it is works because you are using a browser here. Okay, so that is enough. Okay, internet good speed is also important. Mic speakers. Okay, for test purpose. So if you are not having, because you are not having any practical. Guys, this is about your CPU. Any doubts? Anything?
No, sir.
Tell about RAM and ROM. Okay, RAM and ROM differences and RAM. So from ROM onwards, after break I will tell again. So we'll see. Okay guys, what are the primary memories? RAM and ROM. Read-only memory, random access memory. There are two primary memories. One is RAM, another one is a ROM. Read-only memory, random access memory. RAM is a temporary memory, ROM is a permanent memory. RAM is volatile memory, ROM is non-volatile memory. RAM volatile means if you turn off your device, data will be lost. Data in the your volatile memory will be lost. Volatile memory device is lost. Non-volatile memory. Even you turn off your device, data remains in the that non-volatile memory device. You know, other than ROM, what are the non-volatile memory devices? Your hard disk, SSDs, pen drives, your SD cards. Even you shut down your computer, you disconnect your pen drive, data remains in the pen drive only, right? That is a non-volatile memory. Volatile and non-volatile memory. But recently, some people are asking a question, means through comments. They said like, what is the size of ROM kind of stuff. Guys, RAM is changeable RAM. So RAM, if you look at a RAM, this is RAM. So it is, we can insert our RAM onto your motherboard. Different size of RAMs are there for desktop and laptops. Different models also there. So we can insert into our RAM. You can replace the RAM. We can add more RAMs to the different RAM slots. Okay, or you want to replace the RAM, you can replace the RAM. You can add RAM, remove RAM, and you can replace the RAMs for both laptops and desktops. But ROM is not like that. ROM is a very simple BIOS chip. You can see like this. Okay, it's a small chip on your, either it is directly on motherboard like this, or it can be connected to your motherboard like this. Okay, it is a fixed chip. It is a fixed chip. Some are small in size, some are bigger in size. Okay, depends upon your motherboard model. It is like this. Of course, we can remove few type of BIOS chips from motherboard, but it is not like your RAM. You go and change it immediately it will work. It is not like that, because these chips are dedicated for that motherboard. Okay, it depends upon your motherboard, not depends upon motherboard and manufacturer of motherboard. Okay, and your BIOS chip, it is there. Okay, it is a more integral part of this system. That's why we cannot able to change. We don't change it, ROM chips generally. Okay, so like a RAM, we don't change your ROM chips. ROM is fixed on your motherboard. Into the RAM, guys, again, RAM is a primary memory and it is a main memory. When you see what is your main memory means your RAM only. Okay, so it is a volatile memory, you know, it requires power to store data. So if system is on, RAM stores data. If system is off, RAM does not contain anything there. Okay, that is your RAM. RAM is like a, you know, fetching type. So I will show you this. Can you see? Originally I showed one, first initially I showed one block diagram, but this is the main diagram, guys. You have input devices, output devices, all are connected through IO controller. All devices are connected through IO devices. We give instructions, we take output from system through IO controllers only. These IO controllers load instructions to your RAM to CPU. CPU process it and give it to your RAM to IO controllers, IO controller to the devices. Okay. On motherboard, there is a north bridge and south bridge is there. It was there. Now we are not using north bridge, south bridge now. Earlier we are having north bridge and south bridge. Now both are become one single chip only. Okay. So usually north bridge means it will control the communication between CPU and RAM. South bridge controls the communication between CPU and South bridge control the communication between RAM and other peripherals, means your IO controllers, other devices, how they will communicate, how they will understand through South bridge only. North bridge is from between CPU and RAM. And what is that cache, guys? The cache is which is built inside your which is built inside your CPU. RAM load the data and instructions to cache to CPU. Cache is as speed as a CPU. What is the cache speed? Similar speed as a CPU. Okay, to give more support to your CPU, cache is useful. So that's why I said more the cache, better speed you will get it. Okay. Again, in the RAMs, two types RAMs, static RAM, dynamic RAM. Static RAM is also called SRAM, dynamic is DRAM. SRAMs are very costly. SRAM is pure form of transistors. Then it is used for a cache memory. So here in this diagram, I said cache memory. A cache memory is also a RAM, but SRAM. And next one is DRAMs. Usually we are using DRAMs. We are all the RAMs I showed earlier. Those are all DRAMs only. In DRAMs, different type of DRAMs are there. SDRAM, ECO, EDO, VRAM kind of stuff. SDRAM means synchronous dynamic RAM. This synchronous dynamic RAM is further developed into DDR SDRAM. Then DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5 is also came into market. Okay. So each RAM having certain specifications, certain pin numbers, certain specifications, certain pin numbers, certain packages also there. For laptops and mini PCs, we use SODIMM packages. SODIMM, small outline, dual inline memory module, small outline. SODIMM. These sodium RAMs look like this one, smaller the size, useful for a laptop purpose. Sodium laptop. Somewhere any laptop is connecting to DRAM kind of stuff, then you can see. Okay, so they will insert these RAMs into laptops. Not a clear picture, but it will be like this. This side by side, sometimes one by one, means one is bottom, one is top. That kind of RAMs are there. Okay, so DIMM packages. DIMM packages are casual RAMs. You are already seen those RAMs. Okay, like this. Okay, big RAMs. DIMM packages are SODIMM packages. Each RAM having a different pin configuration. Guys, if you take a RAM, so we'll check the RAM sizes, right? In GBs and MBs, generally size of the RAM, 2 GB RAM, 3 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, and the speed of the RAM is also there. Like you can see, my RAM 12 GB DDR3. Okay, it is 1600 megahertz. This speed, clock speed, must be compatible with the CPU front side bus. CPU as per the CPU and motherboard, number of RAMs, number of CPUs, model also decided. The model support is also there. For example, you take a motherboard, it is support DDR4, but I have a DDR3, then I replace the DDR3. Okay, my motherboard support DDR4, but I want to put a DDR3. I can't do it. So that's why compulsory check the compatibility. Check CPU model specifications, supported size, memory, and memory types. Okay, and also check your motherboard specification, number of RAM slots, memory type, voltage levels. Guys, you want to add a RAM, or you want to replace the RAM, or you want to upgrade the RAM. You want to upgrade the RAM. You want to upgrade the RAM. So you have to check the existing RAM. Better to check the motherboard existing RAM. Okay. Already motherboard having a RAM. You want to replace this RAM? Then what to do? So please check this RAM, what type of RAM it is and all, and other specifications, and you can replace it. It is easy because direct compatibility is there. Like even myself, I want to add one more RAM. Okay, I checked everything, but I take the laptop to shop directly. I showed my old RAM, ask additional RAM. He checked the voltage levels and the RAM specifications. He given a matched RAM. Okay, the RAM story, guys. Now it is very good. So this is CPU and RAM. So next we will see about a ROM and other things. So take a break, 10 minutes.